Alright, hello everyone. Welcome back to another video. By the title of this video, you can tell that we're going to be talking about, or I guess I'm going to be answering the question, how can God be a loving God if there is still horrible things in this world? I would say this is probably the most common defense, I guess you could say, against Christianity. I feel like this is the one people just throw around. They just throw it out there. They're like, oh, well, if God's loving, then how is there still struggles in the world? Okay, so that's exactly what I'm going to be answering in this video. How God can still be a loving God, even in this messed up, wicked world that we live in. So, yeah, let's just get right into the video. So the short answer to this question is because of sin. That is why we live in a horrible, wicked world, is because of sin. It's not because of God, it's because of sin. But I'll give you the long answer. I'm not going to give you the short answer. I'll explain more. But the long answer is when God created Adam and Eve and they disobeyed him in the Garden of Eden, sin entered the world when they disobeyed the Lord. Wickedness and every bad thing that you can think of entered the world when Adam and Eve sinned. Okay, so when we look at this is not God's fault. It is not God's fault that sin is in the world. It is not God's fault that all this wickedness and horribleness is in the world. Okay, it is humans' fault that all of this terribleness is in the world. It is humans' fault that we live in a wicked, sinful world. That is our fault. That is not God's fault. God is loving. He's righteous. He's holy. It is not his fault that we live in a horrible, sinful world that we live in today. So it's kind of funny when people blame this horrible sinfulness and wickedness on God. They're like, well, God's loving. Why is there still stuff in this world? It is not God's fault that there's wickedness in this world. It's our fault. It's because of what Adam and Eve did, what humans did. It's because of what humans did so many years ago when they sinned against God and sin entered the world. So we can't really blame something we did on God. It's not really fair to God. And it's just kind of an excuse of saying, oh, well, I don't believe in God, or I don't want a relationship with God because he's not loving, because there's still wickedness in the world. No, God is loving, but it is not his fault that we live in this horrible, wicked world. Yeah, so I just wanted to explain that to you. I know it was more of a short video, but I didn't want to put it in a YouTube short because I feel like it would be too long. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would be too long, but then this video is going to be super short, so it's not really any in between for that. But yeah, I just wanted to explain to you guys that it's not God's fault that we live in this horrible and wicked world. God is still loving, and he still comforts us even in our troubles, and he still wants what's best for us, and he just cares so much about us. I just want to emphasize that to you, that he really, just think about that. There is a loving God that's by your side all the time, that you can go to whenever you want, anywhere you want. He's always there, and he will always care about you. Yeah. So, yeah, that's all for today's video. It was pretty short, but I hope you got something out of it, and I'll see you in the next one.